I just want to do a simple. I say simple. I want something that controls like the ship in No Man's, not in No Man's Sky, in Outer Wilds. So where you have multiple directions that you can press, you have the left and right triggers that you can use, which change your upwards and downwards velocity. And then that you have your forward, backwards, left and right kind of strafing, and then you can look around with the analog stick. So I'm going to have a little look at that. It's just my play around project, so I need to just get rid of some of the default stuff that I've set up, I guess. What did we want to do in here? There's something where it plays a sound. This. No, that one's not a problem. This. On hit points changed. Yeah, it does that noise. That is currently annoying. We don't want that. Guess we can unplug it like that. That's fine. So now when we press play, we don't have that annoying noise. Now you notice I can't look up and down either. I could just go, it's kind of like Doom. I can just go left and right only, which has made me think it could be fun to make a first person shooter like this, where you only have like left and right. Flying elephant. I don't think I'd like to model one. I just want to. It'll be just a cube you ride away around in. That's generally the way I'd like it. Okay, so let's think what else we have that is controlled by things. We have game modes and stuff. So normally I check those. Where would have I put them actually? That's a great point. Let's just go ahead and have a look, shall we? Alt-Shift-O, game mode. So we have first person. Okay, so this is going to be set up in our project settings, modes and maps and modes. This is kind of what I want to do today. Just going to get back into Unreal a bit as well. But if I can work on something fun as well, then that's even better. So I think we had a playground 1 level. That's what we want to start on. And then our game mode, we've got first person game mode in here. I'm wondering whether we should make a new game mode for this. Where's this one stored? Just purely in here. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I should make a new little folder, which is going to be our ship, spaceship. Let's just call it that. We can make a new game mode in this. That's the thing with game modes. You just switch them in and out, and then you've got all your kind of settings based off of that, which is nice. Left and right and no jump, indeed, for Doom. No, there's something charming about it as well, though, Uno. Uno, how was Christmas and stuff for you, good sir? Did you have yourself a nice time? So let's make a game mode base class. This is going to just be our spaceship game mode. That's fine. And then in here we can choose the different game instance and stuff that we're using. I think at the moment we might be using a playfab game instance. You choose the game instance down here, yeah. So I feel I'd probably switch that out as well. I need to find where that is, and we can go ahead and it's just within the core folder. I wonder, could I just change it to a different game instance? Do I just have a game instance if I'm doing nothing in it? That might be fine enough for now, because I don't think we need anything specific in the game instance here. Okay, cool. So let's select everything we've got on this level, shall we? Other than the floor and the fog. Can we wrap these in a folder? We can move to folder, level, objects. Let's just call it that for now. We can move these just away to a corner. I don't plan to test these right now. Cool, and then we'll get all of these things, other than the floor, can wrap into their own little folder as well, which is going to be called our... I always struggle for a name to encompass this, but I guess it's kind of like lighting, environmental But environment can feel like level building as well, so let's just call it lighting for now. Fog kind of plays into lighting. We'll move the player stat out of this. There we go. So we got those. And then we can just make one more folder, which is going to be our level setup. Or kind of a level building, I guess. What do we call that? I can't think of the name. Hey, Elisha, how you doing? You gave presents to so many people and received so little. The curse of getting... Oh, no, Maestro. I apologize. I'd received nothing until Elisha's sister gave us a voucher to go to some botanical gardens near us. And then when I went to see my parents on Boxing Day, my mum got us a couple of things, which was nice of her. But indeed, getting old, eh? But I didn't really get the stuff at anyone else this year, so don't worry about it. Okay, great. So, now that we got all this set up, we should, as we're in our own, we need a... What's the default pawn? We're going to have this, right? Uh-oh. Hold on. Have I got an override in the in world settings? No. Interesting. Oh, did I not select my new game mode? I don't think I did I? No. Okay, so spaceship game mode. There's the one. That'll give us our base setup. So now we should at least move around as just a flying pawn. That's fine. We'll change this as time goes. It's really not going too smooth on my computer either at the moment. It looks smoother on stream than it does on my computer. Where is the show FPS and stats? That one there. Oh, I think it's because I capped it at 30 FPS. Yeah, that's what it is. Whereas it's going 60 FPS on. I don't even understand how that's possible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's think about this. What do we want? We want to be able to, for now, let's not worry about like getting into the ship. Let's just assume that you do go into a ship, right? So let's go to our spaceship. Let's make ourselves a character. There needs to be a character or a pawn here. I really feel that we're adding velocity and we're applying gravity, right? So we need to think about that, because that's one of the things how it works, right? Is you can have different gravity settings applied to the ship based on what planet you're near, right? And different planets have different types of gravities. So gravity, it needs to be based on gravity. Gravity is kind of enabled by default. I'm trying to think. So the movement for that then therefore is, it's not going to be like a character movement component as far as I'm aware. So I think we could do it as a pawn because we're adding force basically. And then we're letting physics resolve itself afterwards. That's how I imagine this is happening anyway. So let's give this a go. In the new year, hopefully, Uno. If Alicia had her way, I wouldn't do it. Let's think. So we want to make a new thing. This is going to be just from a pawn class. BP spaceship pawn. Go ahead and give this a little model, shall we? You can just be a rectangle. So let's make you a static mesh. This is where you learn a little bit about physics that I don't know. So static mesh, we just want it to be a cube. Crikey, there's a lot of cubes in here now. Where's this one? Engine basic shapes. That looks good to me. Okay, I should have some simple materials in here as well. So we can make it, what color should our ship be? A nice shade of black. Okay, wonderful spaceship. Let's press play and let's change our, we're gonna have nothing controlling at the beginning. So let's change our player controller. Can this just be a pawn, or does it need, not the player controller, the player default start pawn class, this is the one. So this is going to be our spaceship one instead. So now what should happen is we just start and we can't do anything. We are just this black cube. If I go ahead and I press this, we should see it's just that, right? Nothing's happening with it. Well, so let's get ourselves, for now, just to help us debug a bit, let's get ourselves a camera on it as well. I'm wondering whether or not we should add a collision to it, or like a collider, or whether the cube itself counts as a collision instead. A ball cube. I'm not Star Trek enough to understand. I'm just going to say yes. Cyberpunk down 3000. A castle. Yes, Una Maestro. Now we're talking about the glory days. Okay, so if we were to do this, let's add on a, what do you call it? Spring arm. And onto this, we will add ourselves a camera as well. Like so. So now hopefully when we play, yeah, we start from here. We're a little further back. I think for now that's probably fine. The tricky thing is actually if we're rotating around, do we want the camera to rotate around with the player? I think that was when you're in the ship you do. When you were doing the little remote control when it wasn't, and it was really confusing. So I think for now we will have it control with it. That can stick with it. That's not a problem. Okay, so we're starting as this block. Wonderful. I might just give ourselves a tiny bit of perspective just to help us understand where we're at a bit. That'll do. Okay, cool. So we now want it to have physics applied to it, right? So let's think about this. There's probably some settings on it. So let's go, we've got our cube, our static mesh here. Let's go through the different scenes. Oh, I got a beautiful piece of music on. I'm listening to Outer Wilds right now, and the End Times track is on, which is the spoiler alert, mute for the next 5 seconds if you don't know the game. But it is the music that starts just as it's about to end the loop. Ah, it's wonderful. We always get chills when it goes on. Good song. But that's why my audio is muted today. Okay, so let's look for physics stuff. Simulate physics. All right, the first step. Let's see. That should mean that it falls to the floor now. Okay, good. Okay, we'll have to play with some of this later, I guess. Simulation generates, I guess for now we would want this, right? Hit events from physics, we'd want that too. Let's just save that for now. And now we need to get some controls set up for this boy as well. Hey there, Sparky. Lovely to see you. Good day to you. All right. So we are... let's think. We want to go into the input. So let's go into input. We have a lot of things in here. I'm kind of tempted to get rid of a lot of this VR stuff that's in here by default. Just because it's a bit messy. Like all of these extra binds. It makes this bit even more confusing for me. So I'm going to we're not doing anything VR at the moment. It's because I started with a first person project and it had it all now enabled, I guess. Look upright. I have no idea what these are. Oh, is it because I disabled the lookup? No, horizontal look, that does. I'm trying to, it'd be the axes, I guess, right? So move forward, turn rate, mouse X. Mouse Y isn't here. So I'm a little confused why, our default. I wonder why that is. Why that default pawn can still look up and down. I don't know if it's a blueprint class. Was it a spectator pawn? I don't know what the default one is. Let's go into our game mode, shall we? We reset this. What is it? Default pawn. Yeah, it's going to be CPP class, I guess, right? So we can't really look at it at this point, which is a little bit of a shame. Oh wow, Sparky, that's a heck of a dream. I think we were listening to some Backstreet Boys yesterday. We went out for some food, first time in since we got married. And they had a bunch of like early noughties pop music playing. Okay, so let's the early noughties, right? Tell me why. Exactly. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. There's so many key changes in those songs. So many. I thought it was early noughties it went into as well. Is it just 90s? I think it's around that end era. It was one after I was in high school, right? So it'd be between like 97 and 2003. Good job, Spacey. Proud of you. You missed me. I made a cube. I called it a spaceship, but it doesn't act like one. So we're doing some setup here. So we have turn. Is it these that I maybe? Okay, how about we look at our third-person controller to see what they bound to remember it. So I know our first-person character. I think we might have deleted the defaults, did we? But did we just leave them unclicked or no? Mouse input here. Yeah, look up. So we used look up. The difference is I just unbound it in here. So let's look up here. And we want to change this back to mouse Y. This might break the wheelchair controller, but it's okay. Indeed, the cube. You don't need aerodynamics. Indeed, you do not. A beautiful cube will do. Spacey knows all about space. It's in the name. Okay, so in our first-person character, in our spaceship pawn now, let's go into here and let's bind to some of these same events, shall we? We can probably just copy past to save ourselves a tiny bit of time. We kind of want controller input, actually, don't we? Ooh. Yeah, we do. Okay. I feel... Oh. Yeah, we do. We want to map it for the controller more than the mouse and keyboards. So let's try and do it with that to begin with. So our look up needs to also be based on the right analog stick. I think we do minus as well. It depends whether or not you want it inverted. And then we also want our turn to be the right analog stick that way. Yeah, the x-axis. That should be fine. And then we need to add a bunch of extra mappings, I think. So we think about it. We have our multi-directional thruster. So what would this be? I guess this would be your horizontal movement. We could maybe call it. So horizontal move forward rather than just move forward. Oh, what did I actually create there? I don't know what I added. Axis mapping. Okay, down here. Horizontal move forward. That's what I wanted. On the outside world. I like that you went to see them though, Sparky. 2000, crikey, we're going back a bit now, aren't we? Horizontal move forward. So this is going to be our left analog stick Y. I wonder whether, yeah, no, I think it is going to be forward like that. And then it would be, I guess it'd be the same as our move forward, right? Our W. Why don't we, should we just use our move forward? We probably should. At the moment we're, yeah, I think I'm over complicating things here. We just need to add that in here. The y-axis like that. And keep it like that. And then for the move right, we need to add the left stick like that, I believe. So first off, should we try and move around on the floor? That'd probably be easiest. So let's go into our spaceship. Go into here. We want to our move forward. No, wrong one. This one, right? We're going to take this, and I guess this is going to be forward or backwards, right? So we just want to, like, do we just add force? And the force needs to be basically the direction times the, yeah, okay, so we need to get forward vector of, I think, can we just get actor rotation, like so? You try and get a 3D printer and make your spaceship. Now my spaceship is probably going to remain a cube, so I could probably carve a cube out of plastic spacey without a 3D printer. How was Christmas for you, Sparky? Did you have a nice one? So then we want to times this by delta time and the axis value, right? So first off, let's multiply these. Actually, no, the forward vector. Yeah, I think we can times them together, but then we need to times it by delta time. Or the axis value, either one. I'm trying to think what would be. Does it either make sense? It probably doesn't change anything mathematically. I think it's the same. So if we like get world time seconds or get delta time, something like that. Get time seconds, is that the one? Lord Shroomy, sounds like you're looking after yourself. Sparky, I can agree that I've eaten a lot. 10 seconds, world was brought up for play, adjusted. Hang on, is that the delta time that I'm used to getting? Or do you just do... No, get world delta seconds. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Phew. Okay, so if we get that, then we can times... I wonder whether we times the result of this vector multiplication or whether we just do this. I think we could get away with just doing this, because it makes it cheaper to just do 2 floats times and then times it by the 3 number vector afterwards, I think. Do we need to, hang on, is there any normalization or anything needed here as well? No, I think the forward vector is already normalized, right? So we shouldn't need to do that. So we want to do a vector times a float. I would have preferred it the other way around, but that's fine, whatever. Okay. Accelerate change. If true, force is taken as a change in acceleration of physical force. Mass will have no effect. I don't quite understand that enough right now, so we're going to just go ahead and leave it unticked. So, move forward. We also need to have an acceleration as well. We forgot about that, because otherwise it's barely going to move. So this times, I think maybe we do one more times first. Let's go ahead and go for a float by float again. We're going to promote this one to a variable, which is going to be our move velocity. And we will plug that into there instead. All right, let's give this one a butcher, shall we? This needs a value. I've done very little with physics stuff, so I do not know what we're going to get here. Nothing. Although it probably is registering. It's just maybe this the friction is not enough. I mean, let's just go into here, press F9, and make sure that we are hitting it when we press forward. No, we're not. Okay, well, that's part of the problem. Input axis, move forward. Where was my... Move forward should be left stick, Y axis. Why is that not hitting? Oh, did I change my... No, we still are... We are spawning the right thing in. Oh, it could be because we have no debug object selected as well. That sometimes happens, which confusing. Why? Okay, so this gets hit every frame, right? Now we want to get rid of this because it'll call this all the time with the new value. I guess we only want to bother doing this if this is not equal to 0, and maybe that would be your dead zone value. Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do that now because there was a dead zone setting and that kind of makes sense. So first we just say if, can we absolute it? We can just say if this is greater than, and then we promote this to our dead zone value, probably. Dead zone range, let's just call it for now. So let's just give ourselves a 0.1 as a dead zone. Depends. If you're in zero gravity in space, Sparky, then it may not matter. Okay, and then we want to do the rest of this based on whether that logic passed. Do you know what? That's what Simon said earlier. I don't know Star Trek enough to agree or disagree. Okay, if it is, we go with that. Okay, that should be good. Elisha knows Star Trek as well. I'm feeling like I'm the odd one in the room. Now, everyone else seems to know it more than me. Well, I don't think I'm going to make my ship that big, Mr. Simon. Simon, did you enjoy Christmas, dude? Just clicking on things without thinking at the moment, pardon me. I'll tell you what, let's also print, shall we? Just debug for now. So we want this to be -1, I think. And this is just going to be velocity. Adding velocity of adding force. Should I be doing add velocity instead? Oh dear, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, never mind. I didn't want to do that either. It's all going wrong. We want to do this, what do you call it? Append, isn't it? That's the boy. We'll whack this right underneath it. Add force of, just so we can see the value that was coming out of this. Okay. Let's just see what happens then. So initially we should have, we need to get rid of that F9 now. Resume. Okay, so it is adding some velocity. You see, we're going forward 3-3 or back 3-3. Let's try and play with our velocity multiplier, shall we? And just to work out whether it is just physics stuff. So move velocity at the moment. Let's set you as 100,000. That'll be a bit more, won't it? See what that causes for us. Do we move now? No. We're still adding a force. But it doesn't seem to do anything at the moment. Simon, you were saying you spent it with Sarah's in-laws. Strangely enough, I have Christmas with my family on Saturday. Ah, that'll be lovely. Are you all able to make it back together, your brothers and sister? My daughter's, I got my daughter a clothes dryer for Christmas. I said, that's what she gets now she's a grown-up, mummy. Indeed. Hey, clothes dryer, at least she would enjoy a clothes dryer. Yes, yes. Well, it's very sensible. Glad to hear. I was fortunate enough to be able to visit my mum, or my parents, and see my brother and my nieces. On the Boxing Day we went down. And my mum's birthday was yesterday. 2 days ago now, actually, sorry. Okay, so I do not know why this is not moving at the moment. Part of me feels, is it because the friction on the floor? I don't think it is, because, well, if that was true, if I would be able to move a little bit now. So, I mean, if I press play, then hold forward, I should be moving. I don't think I did move. I'm trying to think what's the easiest way to test this. I guess I can just check my position of this boy, right? So if we click on this, the location of this on the X is 315, and the location of this player start is 283. If we just drop it. .283. Is that roughly where this was as well, right? 283, yeah. Okay, so it might be actually that we are moving forward. Where are we? Go back onto this. Yeah, okay, so I think we're moving forward, just a silly small amount. Braino Games, it's so lovely to see you, good sir. Here's some measurements for your ball cube. 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers. 1700 depth. Okay. You can't see inside. You just have to trust that I've set all that up for you. I'll just shrink the world around us. That'll be fine. Only I shrunk the Borgs. Could do that too, right? Let's think. So I guess it feels silly that I've had to bump this up this high. Let's just double check the maths here. We do our move velocity, and then we times it by a very small amount. Yeah. I mean, what if we set velocity instead of adding force? I don't know if that works though, because you do want to, if we're letting gravity play its force, we don't want to override the velocity. We want to be adding force to it and let gravity kind of control things, I'd imagine. So, I just don't like the idea of having to make this number huge. Let's add another 3 zeros. Oh yeah, okay, now we're moving. Now we're definitely moving. Okay, let's go back up to here, shall we? And let's get this back to the ground. Let's play, we should be on the floor now. Okay, okay, we're having some... I think I broke it. Is it because... I have no idea why it is. Not gonna lie. Let's just take a 0 off, right? 2 zeros off even. I'm trying to watch like the horizon. Are we getting closer to it? I gotta feel. Is it because of like friction? I wonder. Is the thrust in line with the center of mass? I don't know where the core of this, the kind of root of this is. Let me have a look for you. Yeah, it's hard to know actually without. I guess I could make a. No, I think with I remember actually we do need it to be the root. I can't just put a scene component in. Hey there, Hexa. No, not that sort of ship. Let's have a bit more of a look in some of the settings on the static mesh as well then. Does simulate physics. I think there's anything else in here, is there? I guess I was why default physical material and mass scale. I don't know. Does having a lesser mass is probably going to have a difference as well. I don't know. You can see the camera kind of tilts a bit as if it's trying to be pushed. Should we see if we can go up in the air just to see if we can get around the friction issues as well? So let's stop this. Let's go into our spaceship again. And here, if we go for the input axis. Oh, I haven't done. Did I not set them up actually? No. So we want to do like fly up and fly down, right? Well, it could just be. No, we do need fly up and fly down. I think with the axis of the triggers, you only get 0 to 1 anyway, right? So you're not going to have negative. So let's just call it fly up at the moment and fly down. I can't remember which one was which now on the ones on Outer Wilds. I think left was down, so right was up. Let's go ahead and add this one. Let's go fly down, like so. Okay. And now we want to go ahead and just do a little bit of pointing that for this. So let's go fly up. So if we fly up, we want to go ahead and I guess we'd kind of do the same thing here, right? Make sure that it's over dead zone. You're bleeding. What did you do? Intergalactic Adventure DLC. Sounds exciting. Is that a... That almost looked like a brainoid, that emote. Where are you bleeding from, Spacey? I had that last week, actually. My finger was bleeding randomly. Yeah, maybe she can't... I was going to say maybe she can't lick it, but knowing Spacey... Ahoy, Captain. Hello, Artifacts as well. Good day to you. Okay, so what we are going to do here is very similar to this. I think we literally take the same formula. So we take the axis value and then we times it by that and we add force. Well, not based on the forward, get up vector, I guess it would be this time, right? Do, 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 do. Okay, let's just see whether this goes up. Let's just fight against normal gravity without other things in. Make sure we're hitting it as well. Okay, so what kind of force is coming in? Z force of 1,000. But nothing's happening, really. How much is gravity? I don't know. There's an Alicia just appeared next to me. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Cassie. Thank you very much.
Don't spill it.
Look.
Oh my god, look how many cups you got.
One's for water. One was for coffee earlier.
Hi.
Why you judge? Oh. When did that happen? Nothing to see here. I imagined you just coming in like bringing it down with your face.
I could do.
You okay?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for bringing a drink. Words on stream. I mean, it probably does need words on stream while I'm figuring this out, but it'd be tiny in the corner of the screen. And I get distracted by it. I need to figure out what's going on with this first. Let's also try and work on the mass of this thing. Actually, right? Because that is... Oh, crikey, I just closed it by accident. Where did I make the spaceship? Yeah, you. Alright, 1 kilogram. Start awake. Not too sure so much about a lot of those. Shall we give this a go? Okay, let's get rid of this. So we know we're hitting this. Oh. Oh, it looked like I moved. Oh, I did. Okay, so was my... Uh-oh. How high did I go? Oh, I'm still going. Why am I still going? No. Oh, is it because I'm so light maybe that I'm lighter than gravity? It could be. Let's go back into this. Okay, so our mass now, if we go for 10 instead, shall we? Let's take it itty bitty at a time. The cube is a ship. How dare you judge it by its shape, Anakin? How dare you? Here we go. Okay. Look at this. We got gentle flying. Whee! And based on gravity, we can have a thing where the gravity value is changed based on... Updated based on the position of the ship. So we got that. And we can move back and forth as well. Uh-oh. But... okay, to go forward, I think what Simon said is correct. We're adding velocity from the wrong point, I believe. Yes, Anakin, the idea was to recreate. So I'm going to start doing a thing on Mondays, because I think we've come to the end of most of our interviews. Most of the people I reached out to, or everyone who I've reached out to who said they want to do it, has done the interviews. There's a bunch of people who didn't reply, but I almost feel like I don't want to grovel to people and say, oh, please do my interview if they think that they don't think they want to interact with me. I'm not in a I don't particularly want to try and beg someone. It feels a bit desperate. Like, so based on that, the interviews may be on at least a break. We did like 12 of them, I think, which is cool. So that can be good for like a series one. I can think about in future what I want to do with the next one. But I'm thinking of doing just another Mechanic Monday stream instead, where we take find a mechanic in a game and try and recreate it, such as exactly what I'm doing now. I want to make a spaceship like the one that controls in Outer Wilds, and just go into like figuring it out how to do it. Yeah, Fluffy is interesting. It's not that he's not interesting. It's just this season has been about game devs who have published games on Steam pretty much, who also stream. And yeah, as much as Fluff does do a bit in game, he tends to do a lot of tools and everything as well, so it doesn't quite fit in as well. But that's what I mean. I might do a different season where the focus isn't that, and maybe it'd be someone I could chat to. Fluff would fit into that category then. Yeah, the ship, it takes a while to get used to, but it is good. It is good. Irish John is someone I wanted to, but he hasn't finished his game yet. So I tend to try and speak. The whole thing was focused on people who have published a game to learn about their kind of how they got into game dev, how they find streaming on Twitch, how was their process of releasing a game on their own, pretty much, and after releasing the game, how do they reflect on that? You know, and all the people I spoke to had that kind of experience to draw from. It's on my wish list. It's on my wish list already. And Spacey, I know, but I'm just doing some content. I'm trying to give. All right, this is my Christmas gift to all of you. With the Jammers podcast artifacts, I assume you mean there, right? So, we got an issue at the moment where I think what's happening is a good way to test this would be if we go to our ship and we change the camera to be, let's go on world rotation instead, and let's rotate this around 90 degrees this way. So we'll be able to watch it from the side now, which won't be super obvious to begin with. But so when I go forward, what happens is, holy cow. Why? Why? Why is it so angry? I don't know if it's just when I hit the floor while going forward, it tilts it. Uh-oh. Why am I not coming down? Oh, there I am. Okay, so we definitely need to work on the mass here. But can you see I'm tilting in the air, which is problematic at the moment. Alright, first things first, we need to make this floor absolutely huge so I stop falling endlessly. Let's just go ahead and make this 30 by 30, shall we? Here you go. Not going to fall now. So I've got this on a side view at the moment, yeah? It's okay that it does this, but I feel like I can't... You need to be able to... It needs to slow down over time. Alright, yeah, we also need to get some direction on this ship so we know which way is forward from now on. So yeah, let's go here. Back where we were, right? Time to add the classic arrow on. Gigantic arrow. This arrow is going to go onto the static mesh. Let's go ahead and set its position to be bang in the middle. I'm going to scale this up to be a chonkers. Yeah, maybe we can do this. Hold on. I don't like that the rotation hotkey doesn't always work. Irks me. I think it's because it goes to rename it actually. And so when you duplicate, if I go axis and then I go ahead and press E, no, it still doesn't bloody work. It's a Jagaloon. Why doesn't it work? So annoying. Oh no, the landing gear was damaged. Definitely, a lot was damaged there. We do keep flirting with gimbal lock. It's going to be exciting. Do I have any New Year's resolution? Well, earlier today I did go through and we went through and talked through some goals and stuff for Alicia and I separately. I can show a tiny bit of some of the stuff that I've been that I have on here. So I talked to like stream stuff to begin with. So I guess I don't know if they're resolutions, but more things to consider. We do have to do. That sounds negative. We are going to be doing a AHA2 kind of dev stream once a month after the charity goal as well. I'm going to try and play through The Witcher 3. I've been really interested in doing so for a while, but it's a huge game. But I thought if I do a few hours a night on a Wednesday, something to look forward to. So that could be fun. I'll do co-op streams with Alicia on Tuesday. Maybe not every Tuesday, but who knows? We'll see how that goes. And then I'll be doing either my feedback streams, if we can get any more interest in that, or as I said, there's kind of like make a mechanic sort of stream on Mondays. And then other than that, I've got a few things down on the list. Let me read. What have I got? I guess get back into a good routine of waking up early. With some exercise, scheduling our food as well. We used to do that, but it's been a bit of a mess through December. I need to stop eating so much as well. So we're having a final hurrah up in the next few days. I got a few things on there, like sort out my website, which has kind of been dead for a while as well. I've got a couple of projects I need to work on outside of work, which is sources of income as well that I need to pursue a bit. Sort out my hard drives, do some backups and stuff as well. Charity milestones, I need to bleach the hair. And we need to finish spending wedding money as well. So nothing too exciting there, but that's the sort of kind of stuff we went and reflect on this morning. Oh, that's quite nice. How long did it take you before to get to work? Did you need to drive? And that gimbal lock thing, I'm aware of what gimbal lock is, but I've not had to deal with it much before. So this is like one of the reasons I'm doing this right now, is so that we can kind of learn the things that happen when you work with physics in this way. Okay, so the idea of me doing that was just so we can actually see, like, oh, we need to make them more visible in game. Apologies. Or hidden in game, like that. There you go, so we can actually see what we're looking at. So we can go up and down. But now when we go forward, we go very rolly. And I don't know why we go so rolly, if I'm honest with you. For now, we may extend this camera back to try and get a bit of a view of what's actually going on. So let's take the length of this to be a little bit higher. And we might rotate it a little bit higher as well, just to get a bit of better insight on what's going on here. Is it because of gravity? I feel like I need to have an epilepsy warning on the stream with this at the moment. Hey, Devious. Thank you very much for the subscription. Lovely to see you. Down vector. Oh, so is the gravity vector, is it a different force that's making it tilt forward, like forward and down at the same time? That'd move you in a diagonal, right? But I don't know, it wouldn't turn you, right? And you'd come down on that kind of sort of angle, but it shouldn't tip you. Well, it's not like I have the gravity pivoting, this cube pivoting around the center. So I don't think we're going to have pivoting in that way. However, when it hits the floor, of course, the way that it's going to bounce then will be based on the velocities that it's under, right? Or the forces that it's under. Yeah, I don't want a lock rotation though, because the way that the ship works is that you don't have a locked rotation. Is that you can tip over like that, but it just shouldn't spin so much or continue to spin. It should slow down over time. That's what I feel. No hexadonut. I'll leave that to the clever peeps. Don't you worry. Only here for a little bit. Sleep soon. Sleep schedule got booked. Well, I mean, I mean, what time is it now, Devious, if you're going to bed? Although you do work some night shifts as well, so... Yeah. Alright, nice one, Artifacts. Get some good paint. Oh, excuse me. Sorry for the big yawn. Okay, well, that in context, then that is early, I guess. Devious. I wonder at the moment how much it is based on the weight of it. Let's go back into here. Let's get rid of this mass in kilograms. It'll do it based on the physical material and stuff of it at the moment, it says, right? So can we still go up at the moment, or is it not high enough? It could be that I just made it so light that it'll continue to... There's not enough kind of downward weight on it, I guess, to bring it to a fast stop. I don't know. But that's not doing anything at the moment. I'm imagining it's based on the velocity that we had on this. But this is dumb having to put a number this big in. I really don't like having to do that. Okay, now we're going really far up. Yeah, and it instantly reverses it. Do we do our spinny thing now? Yeah, we still do our spinny thing. A bit slower though, which I guess is positive. How does it work if we make our ship a bit bigger as well? Does that manually change that weight then? Hold on. So first off, let's change this. We don't want this to be as much, so let's just times this by 2 at least. No, divide. Oh, crikey. Times by 0.25. Okay, so let's half that. Still is a lot more than it needs to be. The idea is that it should be adding velocity the more you hold it. But then you need a max as well, right? You need to be able to cap it per frame. I'd imagine you would anyway, otherwise your velocity just keeps growing. I've never thought about these problems before. Oh dear. Oh dear. I like. Okay, it finally settled. Let's have this again. Still, it's going up far too easy. Let's take it down again. Okay, that's feeling a little better. We've started rolling around, but I guess it's not rolling around crazy. Oh dear me. Okay, let's keep building on this, because we need to also think about our look up and look right sort of thing, right? So I think we have a look right, look up. Isn't it a look right as well? I'm so confused. I thought we did. Did I accidentally delete it, or was it never there? Or was it just one with an up and down value? Yeah, I think it's just one, isn't it? Oh, no, there should be two still. Okay, let's go to project settings. Edit project settings. Input. Okay, so was that turn? Oh, is it turn? Yes. So turn and look up is what I'm looking for. So let's first go for turn. So we're kind of going to do the same thing here, I guess. But I guess there wouldn't be a minimum dead zone thing with the turning. Don't think anyway. So we can probably skip that first bit. And then we're kind of doing the same thing here, right? But we actually want to just turn the pawn. We probably set it based on the controller rotation. If we look at this, how they do it. Add controller pitch input. Add controller your input. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So turn is gonna. Yeah, we can just copy these, to be fair. I don't know if we actually need to do this. I guess we could rename. It could be our turn speed, I guess. So we promote this. Get rid of that. Right click and we can do promote to a turn speed. Let's give this a go. Then we get the world delta seconds to make it consistent, and then we want to add. No, we don't need to do any of the direction stuff. It's the same thing that we're plugging in. By here we have our controller yaw. I think that's the turn. Plug that in. To the controller's rotation, if it's a local player controller. There's a input yaw scale already in there. So maybe we don't need to do this. Let's just start with this and see what happens. So let's press play. I can't tell if we're turning because the camera angle right now. Doesn't seem like we're... Oh, hold on. No, that's me using the other stick. So we were doing it here where we just pulled in the... See, it's a player controller though. I guess we're possessing it, so it will have a player controller associated with it. I'm wondering why... Do we need to set our pawn to be controlled by... yeah, there's a thing in here actually. Use controller rotation. I guess we'd probably use all of them. You can use roll as well. There's a way to do it, so we're going to hold that for now. Let's see what happens now. Okay, there we go. We can rotate. We can go up. We can go forward. We're having a bit of issues when we bump on the floor. It's really, really aggressive, but it's a start anyway. We just need to add a couple more controls. We can only look left and right at the moment. I mean, that's probably for our best, but... Natalo, hi! How nice to see you. Sorry, it took me 4 minutes to see your message. I try to make my cube fly. You know how important these things are. Okay, so we should be able to, therefore, to set up the... lookup, I think it was called. Come on, don't type, I dare you. Okay, so we want to look up, and we plug this in here. Hey, Jam Hats, I saw it already. How'd you like them apples? Ha! Ha! Yeah, that's what I thought. Hi. Cute! Look at that. Look at that Borka, so happy. Okay, so we can do that. Then let's think. So we. Okay, we're on a bit of an angle, but we could add the control to fix that. Okay, we also, I guess we kind of want to make it so you can't just turn up if you're against the floor. I think there's probably some checks like that in Outer Wilds already. Hold on. Oh, we haven't got the left and right. Let's work on the left and right thruster as well then. So we've got move forward, very similar. We're going to have our fly up is down. We need our fly down as well, to be fair. And then we need to play with gravity, I guess. So we're going to do this, but we're going to get, this time, fly down, I think I called it. Like, not like that. I'm going to plug these into there instead. That'll do nicely. You might adopt a hamster in you. That sounds very nice. What led you to that, Natalo? So we're going to do up vector, but I guess, can you just do get down vector as well? Oh, okay, or we just inverse it, I guess. Times -1. I think that would invert it, right? The up vector. Yeah. So we do that instead. Oh, it does not like this. What does it not like about it? Self is not a primitive component. Oh, I didn't copy the static mesh down, that's fine. Oh yes, poor Harry Jam Hats. It still makes me sad how Ethan used to just talk about him being dead all the time after it happened. He did have a good life, indeed. They don't have a very long life as there is, I don't think, right? Okay, this is probably going to cause issues when we test this, because I can fly down faster now. So if I do this, and I hold that, I should smash to the floor. Whereas if I just... That gently does it. But if I'm holding down... Yeah, it's hard to really notice, but I can feel it. Okay, if I just float in the air here, and then I slam down on it, I go down faster than I would have if I just float and then I let go. Yeah, okay, cool. So it feels that's working. The next thing to work on is this rotation in the other axis, I guess, right? Let's group these in terms of fly up and down. Let's just whack this over here, shall we? And then this is going to be our look, I guess our look controls, or whatever you want to call it. We got our look around, Limp Bizkit style. Rip, Eddie, Max, Simon, Ferris, Vincent, and Princesson. I've had 6 hamsters before. Ah, Vincent. Vincent was a champ. So you say you've been wanting to have a pet ever since you moved out, but you don't know what. And then I found a free cabinet on Facebook Marketplace. I started to turn into a small hamster cage. I've been looking for a hamster that needs rehoming for some time, and I found one. That's good. It's good to do it in a rehoming sense, right? Yeah. Indeed, indeed. How long do they normally live? Sorry to be morbid. It's just, I guess it's not really morbid, is it? It's flipping fact. Move forward. So this is going to be our horizontal movement, I guess. Horizontal movement. Okay, so we need to do a very similar thing on our move right. I think we will just go through the same. We could probably... No, we need to kind of copy it. Process it that way, and then we can go ahead and plug in everything else can be the same. I think we might get rid of the output, this print, and we can chuck that print in the general update loop. So this goes into here. And instead of get forward vector, I guess we want to do can you get right vector? You'd get the right vector and you would we need to get this value to plug into here. Okay, that should hopefully allow us to move left or right as well. So we're now, it's hard to immediately know. If we go over here, we should be able to see, there we go. So I can fly left, right. I can keep us afloat. So Holtzy, you worked on a little spaceship controller thing, didn't you, for a couple of your games? So the only thing in terms of the basics now I need to get down is, I'm wondering whether I want it inverted. I can't remember how Outer Wilds controlled. So at the moment I'm pressing down and it looks up. I think it is inverted, and that is right. I've been thinking of bunnies also. There's so many bunnies that need rehoming. It's sad. Hamster is 6 months old and they... Oh, sorry about what's happening with this. Just settle down. Settle. Why can't it settle? Oh my gosh. Behave yourself. I don't get it. Why does it behave like this? Oh my gosh. I will read chat in a mo. I'm just struggling to understand what I've created. So it's just like when it lands, it's proper smashes it. And then like look, this is like it's bopping, having a rock. All right, let's just read anyway. This hamster's 6 months old and they usually live 1 to 3 years. 2 is average. All I had were 2 or more, except for the one that died after 1 year. Okay, cool. Thank you for answering. Ethan's been asking Rabbit. I just want to wait until he's a bit older so we can look after it properly and not like leave it to Dad to sort. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think kids, I imagine kids always want something, but it ends up just being the parent who looks after it the most of the time, right? This hamster needs rehoming because the owner's life situation changed. Hamster used to be a breeder hamster and so had babies once, but will not breed here. Just let her do hamster stuff. Bunnies are so nice, but there's so much more commitment. They live for like 10 years. I love to have free roaming. Yes, yeah, they can. They can also, they chew cables quite a lot. From the time I tried, I guess in our family home. I'm starting to feel, I feel like I need to boot up Outer Wilds a sec. Just to see how it controls. Chewed through the Ethernet cable 3 times indeed. Yeah, it was phone line back in the day when I was. All right, let's see how this one goes. And see the way the ship controls. I can't remember now that I'm thinking about it too much. Okay, so in Outer Wilds, if you press down, you look down. If you press up, you look up. So it is inverted. I think that's probably where what I was struggling with somewhat. Okay. Yeah, getting it to land is an interesting thing. Where you do, I guess if you make it really heavy, that'll probably help. I think. But that's something we can look at. But we need to flip the input, I think. So where we have our lookup, we need to change this to a 1, I believe. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. That's more the same. Probably equalizes its base and then flattens once it has a threshold. So what do you think? Like it does a trace to the floor, and like once it hits, it tries to. I don't know, because the physics is always going to like override. You kind of want to like move it, right, to make it the normal of the floor that you're going towards kind of balance out. It does do a bounce. I'm just curious, like what this is that's happening right now. Look at it. Like, why is it doing that? It's actually moving forward too. I made a little cute character accidentally. Lowrider. Not massively excited for New Year's, to be honest, Natalie. I don't really do a massive man for it. It'd be nice to be here with Alicia. I did have last New Year's with Alicia as well. She did end up visiting right at the end of the year last year. But yeah, not too sure what we're going to be doing. How about yourself? So, yeah, I'm not too sure whether... Okay, let's try and print out the current velocity. That's what we can do to work out like what's happening. So we had the velocity being printed here, but if we move this to tick instead, get rid of this stuff. And we just say, right, in our tick, we want to print the get actor velocity, or is there a get velocity? We want to get it, I guess, of self would work, because it should look at the that. Okay, make this orange as well. Okay, so it should be like nothing. It could be just hold on, is my controller just got a bit of a... It could be that my controller's trying to look forward a bit. I'm not 100%. Holy cow. It's just building velocity. Why is it building velocity constantly? Okay, let's think about this. Let's do some experiments. Let's see if we get rid of our... Not move forward. Our looking. So if we do our look up and just unplug that a sec and see how this happens. What happens when we press play. Okay, so we're fine now. And we settle okay as well. I mean, yeah, we eventually settle okay. So I think at the moment, it could be my controller has a slight upwards amount on it, which is causing it to continually push in a certain direction. Like this. I'm holding it to the right a little now. So we may need to set a dead zone value on this as well. So we can do that. Don't think we need to do delta time. Get rid of that stuff. We want to get the axis value, right? We just want to check if this is greater than our dead zone range, then we go ahead and accept it. And we're just gonna have to copy pasta that as far as I'm aware. I don't think there's a nice way to separate that into something we reuse. Well, we could do a little function, but I can't be bothered. So let's go ahead and do that and plug that in afterwards. Cool. Hey, Poker Badly, nice to see you. So Theodore went to his parents for New Year and then spent some time with some friends. I'm not sure yet. I will do myself. Big part of me wants to lay on the sofa and sleep. Feel weird to not do anything. Yeah, I know. I kind of know what you mean. It's tricky. Like there might be a few people doing stuff online, or streamers or whatever doing stuff online, or there might be other people who kind of don't have much plans. It'd be nice and to hang out in a community together. So you know, there may be some people about. If you're feeling like you got no one to spend it with. Okay, let's see if this fixes things. Yeah, so now when we land, okay, it doesn't constantly bounce. Look at this. If I hold forward, it will. But if I press F8 now, I can. We're settled. Okay, so it's just my controller a bit balked. That's okay. That's positive. Jay, look at this classic British snack I've got as well. Savoury snacks. The things that don't really taste like much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't say party of mine. How dare you? A baby pet elephant we can ride. Okay. Last thing on the controls we need to do is we need to check for left button being pushed. So let's just add a new mapping for this. This will be like roll. I don't have roll lock. It's not an axis actually. It's when it's held. Yeah, I don't think we want it as an axis. It'd be up here more. So we want to bind left shoulder, and that's going to be bound to hold to roll. I don't know if I like that. If we go with that for now. So effectively we want something that'll just, like when we press it down, we have a boolean that try whether or not we're doing it. It's Bizarrio. Hello. Lovely to see you working back on your game, good sir. Thanks for sharing the progress in the Discord. How you doing? A year in a row with 13 months total. What an absolute treat. Thank you for your support. So normally you hold that. How does it work? Hang on. Yeah, if you hold it, it's the right stick that then changes. Is it just left or right it manages? Hang on. So you look left and right like that. If I hold the lock, yeah, left, that rolls that way. I think that does the same. Yeah, up and down does the same. It's just left and right. It changes. So basically, when we look left and right, which is going to be done over here, we need to do a check. First we do that, then we want to do, let's look up. No, this one, turn here. Before we do this, we need to check. Oh yeah, it's actually going to be quite straightforward, I think. So we just do is get hold to roll or something like that. I don't know if we can. So you have press and release. You can't query it. Okay, so we're gonna have to. When it's pressed, I guess we're gonna set a boolean. How do you even? If it is pressed, how do I? I just have to make one, don't I? Okay, so if we do this, let's hold Alt, so we do a setter instead. When it's pressed, we set it to that. When it's released, we set it to false. I'm sure there's some bugs that can come from this, but and then we can check this at this point, branch off of that logic, and we can say if you're holding this, if you're not holding it, then act like you were before. If you are holding it, then we want to instead just do add controller role, I think. And the value needs to come in from here. Okay, is that the control we're looking for? Nice week at the beach. Now I just want to make progress. Oh, wonderful. It's good when motivation is high, Bizarrio. Always a positive. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. We got it. We got it. We can now rotate. Okay, obviously the ship being this shape without any VFX and that it's harder to kind of know what's going on. Oh crikey, something's going on there. Momentum, we need to straighten up. And then we need to boost up. Come on, boost. I don't know if I'm able to counter the gravity here. It seems like I am. Okay, back we go. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Oh, crikey. We were falling heavily there. It works though. Yeah, it's a bit sluggish, but that's just parameter tweaking, I feel. Whee! I kind of feel like would we want to be able to roll faster than that? Like we can turn pretty fast, right? So you can turn. I often find it's quite hard to turn. Yeah, I need to think about this. It feels like I can't just turn. Oh crikey! I can't turn easily. Just pivoting. Oh, what the? How is I'm still getting like some momentum going a certain way when I shouldn't. Can you see like the force is continually going? I'm wondering what's adding the force in that situation. Yeah, can you see I've continually got like movement. I don't know why. Okay, it's 0 right now. That's as we expect as well. So if you lean to one side and lean to the other side, it should balance back out again. Okay, so I've started to roll and it feels like it's continually rolling, which I think is maybe what some of the issue was there. So let's have a look at our code. It only comes off if hold to roll is full, is true, so I don't... I don't know if it's just because it's bouncing up and it bounces itself up again. Yeah, it could be, but I kind of wouldn't expect so at the same time. Does it happen if I don't press L button? See my X is 23. I'm continually moving at the moment. Hang on. I've stopped it now. What's that dead zone range? I wonder if we bump this up a bit. I don't know how bad my controller is. But I got a feeling it's not just that. Yeah, look at it now. It's continually like I'm not holding anything. Yeah, it's getting input. Feels like it is anyway. Let's just doing this thing again. Going forward and is bumping and grinding. So we kind of want to see what the value is coming in, I guess, on these. Nothing. So is this purely physics based? Is it gets in a loop of landing, hitting itself back up, then falling, then carrying on? I mean, we could try and improve our debugging here. Actually, what's that debugging like? Is it? Yeah, it shouldn't be. It should be 0, and we only get one of them. So confusing. Why it does this? Before it was settling. I don't. What if I changed to change that? We'll go through in a sec. Let's get some debug stuff done, shall we? What if you turn off the controller tilting if you touch the ground? Do you mean recording the input from the controller? Do you mean? Or do you mean the controller in terms of like the player controller in Unreal? Okay, you mean the physical controller. Well, it doesn't seem like the input's coming in though. It doesn't feel like it's based on the input. That's my concern at the moment. Let's have a look what we get. Because we can get hold of some of these values that we got over here. So what are we using? So we can do our move forward. We can get this as a value, right? And then did we do move back, move right? Yeah. Like so. Oh gosh, it gets ugly, doesn't it? Okay, and then after that we've got our fly up, fly down, and then axis turn, turn and turn. Yeah, we've got quite a few to do here. It'll be useful for later anyway. So get well, actually only if it's an axis we can do this. So get turn. Turn. And then look up, I think it's called. Like so, and then we need a couple more. Which are gonna be that fly up. Yeah, fly up and fly down. Get this to there. Sorry, this is immensely entertaining right now. Fly down. Let's just get these written in as well. so. Okay, save. Let's just, we can now hopefully see our values. Oh, I'm kind of tempted to move these to the end as well. I think it's difficult to do. No, we can just do this. I basically just wanted the stuff that's changing to be more at the end, so the numbers are jumping around less often. There we go. So here, can you see, we just got a velocity that doesn't chill out. So you can see it's not our inputs. I'm interested to see how the physics, so if we go to this and we look at our physics, it's 177. If we were to scale this mesh, I wonder if scale impacts physics. Burn. Yeah, let's go for that. Uh-oh. What happened there? Am I spawning in the floor now? Nope. I have no idea. If it clips through, I'm sure. Well, so if like you're saying, if it's going into the floor somewhat, then it'll push it back out. That sort of. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for suggestions and, by the way, an input. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm confused why all of a sudden we can't see this. Okay. Holy cow. Yeah, just like if we brush against the floor, it'll fling us. Oh, also those. They're all scaled relative to the. I'll tell you what, let's just make a shape instead of scaling it because it makes things weird. Just go to Blender. Thanks, Uno. Good suggestion. I probably will actually add fire so you can, as a debug, so you know which way the thrusters are shooting. So we're in the front here. We're probably going to just scale it just to be a bit bigger overall. So let's scale it all up by 2. And then we'll make it a bit longer. So we're going to scale it on the Y by 2. And then if we want, we can kind of cut it up just to have a bit of a shape to it, I guess. I mean, I don't think I planned to do it that way. I meant to just kind of move them along. Can you just scale on the Y like that? Yeah. So if we do that, and then we bring these edges down just a bit. What's that random? What's this? Is that light? Yeah, get out of here, light and camera. Okay, so we want to scale on the X by 0.75. That didn't do what I thought I would do. Oh, scale on the Z I meant to do, that's why. Scale on the Z, 0.75. Yeah, okay. Alt Z so we can select all of these. Scale on the Z by 0.75. Nice. And I guess to give it a bit of shape, we can scale these in on the X by 0.75 as well. Has a landing gear, 4 points. Do you mean like the prongs at the bottom of the ship? Yeah, I think it will be wise for us to do something like that as well. Right now I'm wondering whether we need to do it right now. Probably not. I just wanted something a bit bigger than the cube to work with. But this makes front and back a little harder to distinguish. So we might try and maybe just bring this both of these to like here maybe, just to give it a bit more shape. That'll do for now. Oh, we haven't pulled the button either, have we? Scale on the X 0.75. There we go. Welcome back, Sparky. Yeah, I guess we'd also prevent how much the face is just hitting the floor, right, Devious? I think we can try this first. We just save this as a spaceship blend for now. Oh, Flight, didn't they have like a hand control on Flight of the Navigator or something, if I remember correctly? All right, let's export this as a FBX. That'll do for now. Then we want to bring it in as an asset. Da 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 da. Okay, we'll drag this into our spaceship folder. Did I end up doing that varnish jump through? Did I have my own meshes in there? I did. Okay. I mean, we don't need that much in here. Let's just drag it straight in. I don't need folders. There's only a few things in here. Okay, import. Oh, I brought in the material. That's fine. Whatever. So let's go back to this. Let's release our scales. It's never nice to scale your root component, in my opinion anyway. So now let's do our spaceship instead. Oh, it's smaller than I anticipated. I wanted it to be a bit bigger. That's okay, we can just oh, hang on, it might be how I imported it. Let's double check that. Where are we? It'll be in here. Import settings, right click. Hold on, let's save these and then let's just do re-import. No, we want the re-import of the import settings, don't we? Asset actions. I know you can do it in bulk edit, but isn't it? Let's just go into this. Import settings. It's like the scale or something in here. Import uniform scale, this. I think that was the problem. So let's re-import that. There we go, our ship's bigger as I expected now. Awesome, okay. Which also means we can now make these arrows a little bit longer. Oh, there's an arrow size already. I shouldn't have to scale these. Yeah, let's need to rotate them but not scale them. If we just make the arrow length 200, 400, still not enough on that. Where's my Y? Ah, okay, it's facing not the way that I kind of expected either. Okay, and if you go size, does that just chunk it up a bit? No, it just... What's the point of size? Is it just a scalar? Alright. Okay, whatever. Now this should mean now that the ship's actually sideways. Yeah, which is not kind of what I wanted. So do we Yeah, if we think about it, I did do it that way. We want to rotate it around the Z by 90. Save that, let's export that back out. And we go back to our spaceship. Export. I should have overridden that. And now we should be able to just re-import it, and that'll fix that up for us. Okay, good. Using the mouse is problematic here, but... So I think at the moment now there's an issue with the... Holy cow. It could be also using a simple collision. There's a few things to consider with this now. I remember roughly the shape of it now. Getting some shock absorbing thing. No, it's something you can at least simulate. I think devious, right, is when they hit the floor, then you counter the velocity. You subtract the force of hitting, I guess. You do some form of maths to kind of dampen the hitting. I think that would be a good idea to stop it being as kind of fierce an impact. You'd need to probably do that without a physics collision, more of a trace. Like you preemptively slow it down, I guess. It's a tricky one because if it's pure collision, then you can't really make it absorb. I guess you can make it move up. Yeah, you could. I guess you could. It'd be interesting. Anyway, right, let's look at the collision of this, shall we? So this is one thing to consider. It is just a box. Complex collision is better. Right, and then we can choose to use the complex collision in here somewhere. Right there, it's somewhere in here. This, use complex collision. Use complex, simple collision. Is complex? Use complex. Okay. That I think. That should give us a better oh crikey, am I even interacting with anything now? I also don't think like our velocity, if we go into this now, we go into the physics of this, the weight of it is, ooh, why has it got 0? Simulate physics, but it has a complex, a simple collision. You're not meant to do that. Okay, maybe I was wrong to do that. But still, I feel at the moment we get like no force. I can't move up anymore. and that's because I predict it's because the mass here. Can you see it's massive now? Okay. So if we wanted to fix that, we could just put it back. We could change the mass down to 100 or whatever it was before. But reality is here, we're going to have to just change our move velocity. It's gone up by, it was 170 before, it's now 6,000. So by 4 would take us to around 600. So times by 40. Might give us something back to near where we were. Okay, so we can take off now. We can do a, oh, I got rid of the, oh no, we got barrel roll. Just a bit slow, the barrel roll. I feel that needs to go a bit higher, faster. I feel the velocity doesn't seem to decay as much as I'd expect. What's going on here? It just... Oh dear. Yeah, using physics is definitely something. There's things to understand, let's just say. Oh, who knows where the bloody platform is now. Right, let's see if we can get back up there. Back over here. Okay, we're kind of making our way back. Yeah, so that's one problem I get is when I'm turning left or right. It's odd. I feel how do I describe what's going on? I think when I'm on Outer Wilds, if I was to look left or right, I don't accidentally you see how I just go, I pivot completely that way, right? I'm going straight. I can hold it and I'm just going around in a circle. Whereas in mine, it feels like I'm going around on a diagonal when I do it. And I don't know if that's due to, like, I need the vertical dead zone to be a bit better. Also, you can't turn on this whilst your feet are all down. So we can look at adding the legs onto this as a separate mesh, as we mentioned earlier, or just adding them onto the mesh. Hit the floor while moving forward. What is it? That happens. So I'm just pressing forward, then I'm letting go on this angle. Can you turn the ship while it's bouncing around? I think you can. Let's give it a go, shall we? No, I couldn't really go left or right much. So I can there. As soon as I hit the floor, I'll hold the stick the same amount. So you see I'm turning. When I hit, it really kills it. Feels like the legs are really grounding whether you can turn or not. It could be something to do with like if the right leg has hit the floor, you can't turn right, for example. Like I'm holding diagonal now, so you can. There are times where you can kind of spin around, but it's kind of based on your legs. It feels right, based on these when they hit the floor. I think the fact that these are big and flat also makes a difference as well, right? Yeah, it may be. So I'm wondering, are the legs going to be individual ones that we chuck on? And we can position ourselves and we can kind of listen to their own individual collisions rather than treating it all as one. So that makes me feel like we should make a leg separate. Yeah, you kind of can. If we just go up like this. Feels like it just, it kind of naturally lets them handle the physics by the looks of it. So on this, it feels like how can we do this? Scale it on the X to be half the size to begin with. And let's just, for now, no, we don't need to position it for now. What I was thinking is splitting this up into a few little bits. So if we bring this forward on the X by 1.5 even would probably do. And then we can move this on the X by 1. And then we can move this on the X by 1.5. And then maybe we can split this one up to be like a fat chunkers. I mean, this is not the best way to do it. I feel it immediately. Yeah, I'd agree. I agree that it feels like it's absorbing a lot of the velocity, or absorbing a lot of the kind of impact, if you will. Uh-oh. It wasn't meant to be that big that way. I forgot about that. So I'm going to scale this on the Y by 0.5. There we go. And we just want to choose this bottom chunk. And scale this on the non-Z by 2. We can just go with that for now. Just to give us a... I mean, it might do us good to maybe shift it across a little bit. So if we move this minus 0.5. minus 0.25. Just to center it a little bit better. Okay. What if the tips of the legs were like single points, like tips of triangles? What are you thinking that? So it, for which, what benefit are you seeing that? What, just so it's not like a whole face hitting the surface, you mean? It's something we could experiment with. I think I see where you're coming from with that. Okay, so with this particular shape, if I export it now, won't it export the cube as well? It'll do it as a separate one if I remember correctly. And then I can position it in editor, I'm pretty sure. So if I just save this for now, we export. Actually, no, it'd be nice to get this, let's just give it a name as well, shall we? Ship leg, like that. It'd be good for us to be able to move this. And the Z by -1. Okay, then cool, that's central, that'll do. Yeah. Yeah, and the angles that they're on, I'd imagine, makes sense as well. We look at this, they are, yeah, making a perfect kind of triangle, right? So that's something that we're going to try and emulate here. Okay, let's save, let's export into this. Okay, and then hopefully when we bring this in or re-import it, to fix a material match, right click on the import. I don't know what it's actually on about. This is because there's two elements, because there's the, I thought it brought it in as like two meshes. I've done it before where it brings it in as like two meshes. Two separate ones, but it seems to have brought them in as one here. Which is not what I expected. Can I put this into a new file? Just save it as a leg on its own. I don't understand this stuff enough to waste time with it. So let's do that. And we can go back to our spaceship. Like so. Okay, and then we want to, yeah, as I said, open spaceship, and we can get rid of this leg now. Like that. If you have it all in edit mode, it'll be one mesh. You can separate it by selecting the leg and pressing P. Well, no, I made it in two of them in view mode. They were two separate things, I thought, but nah. Well, I've done this now. Thank you for that. Sorry, I missed that, Pisario. Let's go ahead and re-import this quickly. Okay, and then what we want to do is to pull in the leg. like that. Okay. I'll give this a simple white as well. It's fine for now. Okay, and then let's go to our spaceship. Now we need to add on a couple of static mesh components as well. You're going to be routed to, oh no, not like that. Can we undo that? Yeah, okay, here. So one of them is going to be, what kind of Z are we looking at? Minus 200 maybe? And then we go plus 100, that through 400, 300. I'll make this minus 150 maybe. Okay, so that'd be the one leg. And then the other two need to be same sort of distance but rotated, right? So let's go ahead and duplicate that. So it was north. We now want to do the southeast, I guess. Let's rename this one north. So this one would just be a rotation of 360 divided by 3, which is going to be 120. And then we need to think about the position. It needs to be, this is a tricky one actually, because it's not just going to be 300 forward. It needs to be 300 relative from the center. So let's do this. Then let's change to this, and then we can change it 300 in this axis. Oh, crikey. No. Didn't think that would happen there. Sorry, my mistake. If we go to this, we want to move this forward now. 300 from the center, right? The thing is, our ship's not the same shape all around, but they need to be, we need to keep the center of it equal, right? So this item kind of want to go forward. 300 would be equal apparently, although this feels a silly amount of distance compared to the other one, but maybe it is equal. I think it is. We want it around 100. So if we change this one back to 100 as well. And then it's still a bit clunk out, isn't it, at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Well, based on the ship center of gravity, yeah, it's going based on the center of it at the moment. I'm not too sure whether gravity is going to apply more based on the shape of it in the Unreal Physics simulation. I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to do it based on the center of the actual ship. So let's just do this. Duplicate this again. This is going to be our southwest. And this time it's going to be rotated minus 120. And let's just set it to 0 here. And then let's go this angle minus 100. I feel like this is not correct. I swear I typed in that minus 100. There you go. It didn't look like that. Oh, hang on, allow. It has a fan, but it may need to be a little further back. Assuming it works similar to IR. Yeah, at the moment, we're not too sure. It appears to have legs. Welcome back. How was the paint shopping, good sir? Yeah, we're giving it legs based on trying to just see if we can find a nicer way for it to kind of stabilize on the floor. Because at the moment, it's struggling. We can also bring these all a little lower now, I'd imagine. Minus 200. Is that floating or is that? I think that's all right. That's okay. Right. So first off, am I going to have to put simulate physics on them in order for them to even? No, they seem to detect. Yeah, we're still sliding around. So maybe setting some rules like we said before, as if we're touching the floor, then we don't. No, but we're not taking input at the moment. It's weird. Like it's all being generated based on the physics simulation. Like there's no input from me and it's making it do this. Bye! It's like it doesn't decay to 0 over time. Like even now we have a tiny bit of velocity. Look at that. So we're moving a tiny amount. I both managed to miss my mouth twice then. One this way and then just dropped it. Good job. That's weird. The spectator pawn, if you hold left button, it kind of zooms out like that. You can zoom, I guess it's zoom in and zoom out. Yeah, I mean, well, ultimately, we kind of got some of the basics to work. We are able to fly around. We can rotate ourselves this way. I think it might need to be a bit faster, the rotation. The barrel roll this way, it feels a little bit too slow. Oh, and then I think, are we getting gimbal lock issues there where it doesn't let us rotate anymore? It might do. It doesn't seem to let us go past the... Can't seem to go past the horizontal. Artifacts, it's not at all subtle. When you might as well just point names. And Shopper is fine, more expensive than I thought it'd be. I'm arguing about how to go about painting a pattern on the wall. So you're going to manually paint a pattern on the wall, is it? Okay, so at this point, can you see that it's like the previous velocity just keeps, it doesn't, Seems to decay when I'm in the air. I'm watching my X and my Y at the moment. It's slowly getting back to 0 now. It's going the other way now. Is it because I'm on a slight angle? It could be. Yeah, you can look at my feet, by the way. They're kind of merging through the floor. You can see that they're... Yeah, not too sure what's happening, if I'm honest with you. The slidiness. No, it's not. It's too much to be controller drift. I've also got... I'm basically tracking my inputs in that debug message. So they're all 0. Like, I'm not giving any input and it still moves. So it's not controller drift. It's essentially the velocity is carrying on. Have a grounded check. Yeah, to override. The tricky thing is when to override set velocity, because we're adding forces, right? I guess. Oh, actually, no. We should consider. Okay. I've just realised. We're still taking this value. Okay, I think I know what it is. No, the axis value is 0. And then we're timesing that by, well, if it's 0. Oh, not the gremlins. I've heard they're much worse than the gremlins. So no, my theory there has actually been diminished. Because if you're not... I thought it's still adding a force every tick. But actually mine isn't. So it should diminish over time. Oh no. The wires inside your computer. Crikey. You have to deal with that 700 watt power supply. If you're doing a ground check, I think it would be a buffer velocity to check for as well as input. So no input and within the buffer, then we override the velocity. As in, like, we could do our check in here, I guess you're saying, right? Crikey, that's only $299.95. I bet this offer doesn't stay around for long either, Devious. What happened to Devious going to bed? Also, Devious, you said you were going to sort out your sleep schedule, didn't you? Well, the thing is, at the moment, though, is we're not setting the velocity, we're adding velocity. So the fact here is, at the moment, if you're... Oh, maybe you're right. If it's a small amount that we just set it as 0, I think you're saying. Sorry. Hmm. It's challenging though because your velocity is going to be. Hmm. You'd have to check the. So basically saying if it's not, if you are within that dead zone. No, because that means if you let go of any input, it gets to a certain point and then it just stops. But it feels at the moment like you don't have to be going fast for it to do these hops. Like here, the X velocity is just growing and growing and growing at the moment. It's growing. It's not like it's just stat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here it's growing and going back to itself. Yeah, here we go. Look, there it goes. It's off. I haven't pressed anything. I feel like this is probably one that deserves a bit of a dive into the what happens in the physics. It takes. Oh my gosh! I just moved and realised my tailbone is not in a good way. Whoa! I was not sitting in a good position there. What's Gorilla Maths? So essentially, we're saying if your input is lower than the threshold, so meaning you've got no input, and so at this point we want to get the velocity of our static mesh, right? So get velocity of self, and we want to check is this less than a certain. It's tricky. What on all axes? Or do you break it down? No, do you go on each one at a time, or is there? Would it need to be less than all? Like, we would need to absolute it, right? As well, because if it's just going slightly down, it's not just up, right? So if this is less than our, what should we call this? I guess. Override velocity threshold. We've called it for now. So we just said this is 10. So if our value is less than that threshold, And this is for our, oh, this is for our move right. I should probably look. I'm wondering, like, wouldn't I need to do this on every single input? Like, we got all these different inputs that are getting called every tick, right, with the new update value. So I'm going to have to redo this every one of them, because, like, this one gets called, but then maybe the next one gets called, which is going to set a velocity as well. I don't know if this is as simple as... I blame it on Unreal, poker badly, or me not understanding the Unreal physics. I've done very little maths. Is there like a set velocity of our... So you can get velocity, but what can you do to set it? I don't know if you can set it. Is it I have no idea. What the difference between angular and linear velocity is here. Yeah, I can create a function and call it on each one, yeah. Yeah, that's not so much the issue. It's more of like logically whether me setting the velocity in this one situation will impact the other calls in a different way. But yeah, we can wrap that up. That's not an issue. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm honest with you, I don't know angular velocity or linear velocity here. That's long ago. Linear, is it? Okay, let's try the linear one. So else we can just get this instead. Get rid of that. If it is less than that, then we're going to go ahead and set the velocity. Do we just set the Z velocity? Do we leave the previous? Or are we stopping all of them? Just the Z. So we can wrap this up then into a function. We can call this function, what did I call it? Override. Just call it try override velocity for now. It didn't need anything in from. Okay, sweet. So if we do that, we can go ahead and we can call that. Sorry, I got a bunch of things open that I don't actually need at the moment. I keep clicking on them accidentally, so let's go ahead and get rid of those. we can do that when we move forward as well. Isn't that going to possibly cause you to float and just not ever hit the floor? I'm not sure. I haven't thought about this enough. Now, to be honest, you'd have to be going really slow to get to that point, though. Okay. So we've chucked it after each one of these. Let's see if it makes any difference to us now. Well, I'm constantly going backwards at the moment. I'm not too sure why. Okay, look at that. Why? Why am I sliding backwards? Oh. It's based on the legs. Like if I lean, seems to be set leg. Yeah, it's based on the rotation angle. Okay. So another thing we need to do is just make it that when we're on the floor, we need to set. I don't know. You shouldn't, if your legs are on the floor, I feel like you shouldn't be able to move, right? You're no longer. Well, I think at the moment it needs thinking though, because it's completely balked at the moment. I'm trying to work out why it's doing something. And to prevent it, why does it continue to move? Unless you're flat zero, so I can go up and down and land and it would be fine, I think. But the moment I have, that's fine. So I can move around like this, fine. Let me just go, don't know where the other stuff in this level is, just so you can see some context. Okay, so you can see the stuff down there on the floor. I'll go and land on this now. So if I land on this, that's fine. The problem comes is when I look forward or backwards. So we kind of need to basically face up always. The problem is if you land on a hill, you would be on that angle and you wouldn't expect to continually roll. So we could just override the velocity of 0 if your legs are grounded, as we were saying, rather than try and make sure that the ship is facing up. So if 2 of the legs are grounded. I think it's because they're hit events. We can put collisions on them, I guess. I'm just thinking like at the moment these are physically colliding with the floor, right? But we could put a collision thing on the bottom to say like, is this touching the floor or close to touching the floor? Because that way we can detect when it's no longer touching it. Because on a collision you have the hit. But you don't have the like stop hit event. So whether it's worth us putting like a collision on the end of each one of these, I'm not sure. Box collision would probably be fine. If we did something like this, probably not quite as big, but you get the idea. Why can't you just check if you're on a slope or not? To solve what? To solve what? Like checking the normal of what's below us is useful, but at the moment we need to be able to determine whether or not we are on the landed or not here, right? So I could raycast down from these positions as well. That's another thing you could do, rather than using like a collision. The raycast might be nicer because it gives us the ability to get information about how far away we're going to kind of soften it, like we were talking earlier. Definitely, like knowing the angle of things is useful, but right now what the problem is that if the ship is on a certain, unless the ship is exactly facing up, the physics simulation in Unreal is making it move. If we get rid of this, then we need to get I don't like doing it like this, but it doesn't matter for now. So if we get the sphere component, we'll chuck one of these on each of the legs. So let's go forward 250. Minus 400. And probably around there looks good. We did do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So technically should be between those two. If I want it bang in the center, just to get it done for now. Okay, so we kind of want to do the same for the other ones. This might take a little bit of time. Give me just a moment. Like so. If you try and land while rolled, if your feet are on the floor, it stops you. So if we go up here and then we roll, it kind of rolls you back over, but it doesn't have to do that. You could go all the way over upside down like this as well. It tends to try and find the center weight back to the middle. If I feel, let me try and just roll a sec. I feel if I just roll and leave it, it tends to try and get you back to the center as well. Even like I'm releasing now, and can you see it kind of gets your feet? You don't just have a complete like zero gravity sort of thing. It does tend to try and get you flattened out, I guess. But yeah, when I'm on the floor, I can move left and right. If I hold left and right, there's a bit of friction. But I can't rotate. I can't look up or down or go left or right. I can hold down like that. So if a certain amount of my legs are down. So I seem to be able to just do this where I think I'm just spinning on one leg. Never two are settling. But if two settle and then I press it. Yeah, I think all three need to settle. Because otherwise I can still go forward. But if all three have settled, then back and forward doesn't do anything. It could be physics based where it generally just can't move anywhere. Like the amount of force that you're trying to turn back is just pushed back by the ground underneath you. So you can't. But it could also be manual overrides. Like when it's touching the floor that it no longer lets you. Let's just get these ray trace locations sorted, shall we? Oops. Hang on, I'm a bit confused why if I select this leg. Okay, that was the one we wanted in the box version of it. But this doesn't seem to have the same. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. It doesn't seem that I can move it out on a. That's odd. I'm not too sure why that is. Anyway, okay, well, let's just get it. Minus 400. That's the north one. If this is underneath it, then this is the right one. This one would be. So let's just go ahead and get this in the middle. I guess it doesn't particularly. For what we're doing right now, it's not the end of the world. I think it's just 125, is it? Okay. That's minus 200 relative, not minus 400. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Okay, so these should all be in the right locations now. So, what we'd want to check, I guess, is whether or not we are grounded or not. I don't know whether this is something we would do within our tick. Is there a separate physics tick? Okay, so we want to run some traces off of these, right? And set a boolean based on it. So line trace, is it? Oh, I can't even remember these now. Given line returns the first blocking hit encountered. Ignore self is on. For 1 frame. We want to start from here. Get location. Get world location. So if we get the world location of this, but then we also want to get add on Z minus the distance, right? Can we break this out? We can also break it, I guess, and we want to. We can break this split as well. So the end can be in the same X and Y. Well, it's not actually, is it? It's not always down. It needs to be the forward vector plus. Yeah. Okay. Well, the up vector, I guess, of it. It would be. And then you would want to negate that to get the down vector, I think. I don't think there's a get down vector, is there? To save me doing this. Okay, so I think you'd multiply this by -1 to turn it into the down vector, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. And then we'd need to... I've done this before and struggled before. It's not complicated, but I'm just not used to doing it. We then need to move that. We times that, don't we, by the distance? Because this is just a direction. I think when you get the up vector, it's normalized, right? A unit direction vector, yes. So if we negate it, and then we times it by the distance. So we times by our promote to leg trace distance, for example. Set this to be 25 for now. We get this. Can we collapse this? Recombine struct. Just whack that in like that. For now, I feel like I just want to do that and see if it looks right with the... and not actually do anything from it. Does it go green if it no longer hitting? Crikey, what's happening here then? Ooh, that is definitely not correct. Look at that. I mean, did we end up rotating these things? I don't think we didn't, right? Well, I guess world rotation wise they're rotated, but imagine if you called get up vector on that. The up vector would be the Z here, right? What have we got here? So we're getting the world location of the trace. That's our start location. Oh, okay. Now I know why. We're not adding it. We need to add this to our original location. As far as I understand anyway. Let's add vector to vector. This goes into there. This becomes our end vector then. You going down now? We can't even see anything, can we? Well, it's taking off on its own again. Try and go up in the air. And let's come out of this. Yeah, I don't see any tracing going on at the moment. Oh, there it is actually. I do see it. Da-da-da-da. Okay, can we make that thicker? Is there more like line thickness? Oh, there isn't. It's a shame. Although what's it hitting there? It's meant to be ignoring itself, but it still is hitting something. By the looks of it. So if it is hitting, then let's get this. Break the hit result and say whatever it is. Hit actor, get name. Display name. And then we can just do a debug. No, let's just chuck it straight in. Change this to 0. Floor. Okay, so it's hitting the floor. Yeah, and okay, and nothing now. Okay. So at least the maths is working fine for this, which is good. Tidy this up a little bit now before we copy pasta. Get the world location going in, and then we get. It was fine out where it was. I guess we can go ahead and get some variables here. Of doing right leg. Oh no, what's this north leg? We can just set that straight like that. For each one of these, we need to change. So we're going to do the north, southeast then. And do this as southwest. Southeast first goes into here. And then finally, I mean, we need to get these values into here as well. So let's move things across just a little. Let's come back just a bit as well. This is the end, this is the start. Okay, and then finally, like this across again. This time we're going to use this one. And then we want to feed these into this. Like so. And then set this one based on whether or not that hits as well. Okay. Which is Uggers, I know. I know. But don't worry, everything's fine. Put this into a function as well, just to clean it up. I'll tell you what, we can put it at the end as well. New function, as we delightfully called it. Let's rename this. Print ship debug info. Let's drag that onto here. We can add a couple more things into this. We might just do it as a separate print as well. And this is to do whether it's landed or not. We'll just make it a slightly different color. And probably don't need the print into log, just the screen will be fine. So it'll be an append. I'm just going to do a ship. Oh, there's a text. Oh, I forgot what it was. We learned about this before. I forgot what the function is called. You can put in the curly braces. Is it format text? This, so we can just say landing detection. We're going to say north. It's going to be that. Southeast. And then southwest. This would be southwest grounded. Didn't detect them all. Southwest, why not south? Oh, did I do it southwest twice? I did. There we go. And then we can take these and convert them into these. We can convert it like that. Right, let's give that a go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's annoying. Actually, can I refresh the node? There you go. The order of them was balked. Because I did a typo first time. Thank you, good spot. Much appreciated. Okay, so we should get information now about whether they're all grounded or not. You see, this one isn't grounded still. We might need to do it a bit further. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Okay, so if we do that, the idea that we're meant to then check is that if all of these are grounded. So now that we've done this bit. So if they're all grounded, then we can go ahead and what even were we trying to do again? I'm trying to remember. Were we trying to like set the velocity or something? I should quit this running in the background for now. Yeah, so I guess if two of them were grounded, we wanted all of the velocity to just stop. Dyna be o'n i'n trio wneud. So, allan ni cael wiriad bach hwnna, I guess, a just tynnu rein mas. A just dweud os mae pob un o'n nhw efo'i gilydd. Fel hyn. Mae hwn yn fi bod bob un o'n nhw ddim just dau o'n nhw ddo. Sy'n falle'n broblem, ond allan ni weld sut mae hwn yn datblygu ar ôl. So os ni'n gwneud branch nawr. So os mae hon yn gwir wedyn, dyn ni eisiau osod y velocity i fod yn 0. Be oedd e fel set linear velocity. Set physics linear velocity oedd e. Okay, static mesh fel na. Ni eisiau just gosod e i fod yn 0 os mae pob un fel na. A wedyn awn ni fynd a printa hwnna mas. Ond os na, dyna ni. Okay. Awn ni cael wiriad bach o te, weld os mae hwn yn mynd i cael rhyw fath o wahaniaeth. Os dyn ni nawr yn glanio. Mae yn cael wahaniaeth. Os chi dal gallu hedfan i ffwrdd rhywfaint fel hyn, ond unwaith dych chi ar y llawr yn gyfan gwbl. Na, fan ma, mae ddim quite yn digwydd. True, north and false. Nawn ni fynd y gwmpas. So beth sy'n digwydd yw mae'n fel aros ar ryw fath o What? Gyn nes i wneud yw wneud yw... Hang on. What? Pam oedd hwnna yn stopio fe? Dylse dde ddim stopio fe, right? Neu dy o ddim yn cael ei ticio os mae'n chwaraewr ddim tu fewn falle. Dyna probably be ma fe. So mae'n fynd ymlaen oherwydd mae'r north foot apparently ddim yn cyffwrdd y llawr. Ond i fod yn onest, dylse fe fod yn... It should do. So we get in a position like this where the north foot isn't touching the floor. We pause it. So false, true, true. Again, it's saying so. The okay, yeah, is it slightly up? It is, right? So we're slightly on this angle. Where these two are fine, but the ship's kind of on a bit of a turn. Oh, hold on, is that? Where are we? Yeah, look at this weirdness that's going on. Hey, Pixel Theory. Good evening to you. Hey, Rom as well. Nice to see you. I think from all angles, the legs are coming out a bit like that. I just keep getting the idea it's tilted up in the air here. A little button you press to like pop it back over, right? Poker badly. Well, in Outer Worlds, they have almost like a center of gravity concept, I guess, where it always tries to bring itself back. The ship doesn't do much, no. The ship will do a lot of sliding that it's not meant to do. But we got some simple kind of... I've just been trying to mimic the like Outer Worlds ship control at the moment. So we can like float around. The camera angle's not really flattering at the moment, but I can move forward. Like you can drift back and forward with the and left and right. You can use the right trigger to go up. You can use left trigger to go down fast. You can hold left button as well. And left button will allow you to roll, but only to a certain point. And then it doesn't let you roll anymore. Because something to do with how rotations, probably quaternions or some weird stuff that I don't really feel happy about. It'd be interesting to learn a bit more about it. So yeah, so we've just chucked on like these legs, which we're trying to like get it to have some form of like stability when it lands, because it does a lot of this kind of continually moving sort of stuff. So we try making it so if all feet are touching the floor, it won't move anymore. So right now it's not moving anymore. This is great. This is kind of what we wanted. But then you can see here, it's like the north one is just bouncing up and down. And also we get in positions just where it just slides along. I think it's just because the feet don't naturally come to rest. I mean, they do a bit with gravity. But I almost feel like there's a lot to kind of figure out here. Yeah, the gimbal lock possibly. I haven't really done much with it before, if I'm honest with you. I'm familiar with the concept, at least, but just not had to work with solving the problem before. Or not in the last couple of years, anyway. So yeah, our problem is this, is that we're basically just sliding around. It's hard to see with the camera angle and everything, unfortunately. But if I was to land, we just slide. We don't seem to come to a stop. At the moment we're going down because the angle of our ship. So based on which way we're facing, we'll slide that way. So if we're facing down, we go backwards. If we're facing up, we slide forwards. So yeah, I think we shouldn't be able to rotate maybe when we're Yeah, I've I'm not like turning gravity off or anything. The gravity exists in the world. And so we're not changing anything to do with that. What we're trying to do is update the velocities, because it's maintaining velocity based on the angle it's on and gravity pushing down on it, I guess, right? So I don't feel like turning off gravity is the right way to solve it. I think what we should try and do is just it tries to center itself. But there's more trickiness to it. You should be able to land on a slope and not slide. So whether or not we change the weight, the mass of the thing when it at a certain point. Yeah, it was suggested earlier if I just made the legs just points instead. What, you think that would just cause it not to try and self-adjust so much, you mean, right? Let's stop this a sec. Because all I've done for the legs is just created these, like this little thing that I've manually chucked onto it, you know? So we could turn it into like a point instead of a big old fat foot. As just a quick experiment, rather, so we don't have to change so much. Alright. So if we were to jump into edit mode on this, there's a way you can, is it M to merge? Merge at center? Okay, yeah, we could do that. So if we do this, we'll merge at center. We could do like a point like that instead. Just to test this out, right? That'd be the same kind of concept as doing a sphere view. Let's just save this for now and export it out. It didn't take us long to do this. I'm purely doing this as an experiment to play around, you know. I'm not trying to make a space game. But I played Outer Worlds, enjoyed the ship controlling it, and thought it'd be fun to try and remake it. It's kind of like a learning exercise. We'll try the single spike first. I can't remember if I even just saved it as the FBX. Okay, we did. And then let's re-import this. So now our ship should have spikes. I mean, let's double check also in our ship that our little trace points look correct as well. I think they are correct, which shows my maths earlier was alright. Not always guerrilla maths. Yeah, that's fine. That's what we expected then. So like, I think one of the issues is just that we can move ourselves. Two things. One, it doesn't like try to settle itself. The physics is just applying to the whole thing going down rather than having like a center of gravity that it's trying to like settle back to this middle point. And then the second thing is that even when we're on the floor, I can use the controller to change my facing direction. And like make it just do this, for example. Whereas one, you shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to give velocity Sorry, I'm choking on something. But secondly, it should just like topple over rather than just slide forward, you know? Via talk. Okay, I've not actually dealt with that before. I thought talk. Yeah, I don't know much about talk other than I thought isn't it something to do with like grip or like rotations? Yeah, that's about as much as I can muster up right now. Because at the moment we're doing it via the controller, you see. So I guess the controller isn't settling down. Let's have a little look in here. Horizontal movement. Not that, it's going to be our look around stuff here, right? So I'll look up here. What we do, we add pitch by a controller. So we may need to change this controller to not have the controller rotation, use controller rotation pitch. We may not use that and manually use torque, I guess here, right? I have not seen any of the functions to do with this before. Add torque. So then we'd have to do our own kind of scalar via delta time, I guess, here. So we're going to add it to the spaceship mesh. Let's do it in degrees. Makes more sense to me. Let's get rid of that for now. You're going to be adding a bunch, but okay. So first off, we also need to like get delta time world seconds. That's the one. We also want to be multiplying the axis value here is going to be that times our, let's just do float through float. Let's promote this to our lookup rate. I think that might be a thing already. I just don't see why the whole ship needs to rotate when you just want to look, feel. Well, I don't want to look. It shouldn't be looking. I'm not. You shouldn't be able to. When you press up, it shouldn't do anything. I need to add some extra rules, basically saying like if your feet are grounded, then when you use the up and down, that you don't look, that and the ship doesn't move either. But at the same time, at the moment, it feels very much like you can rotate freely regardless of what the physical context you have with the floor. Is that where talk is different, pixel theory? Does it take into account the kind of the contact with the floor? I remember there was some crappy motorbike film called Talk. That's the only reason I know what that bloody word half means. Okay, so this is going to be our let's just say it's a look multiplier, we'll call it for now. I'll chuck this 5k for now. We'll have to, it's based on the mass of your item, we'll need to care about that as well, but we'll just then multiply it by delta time. I haven't really left myself much room here, if I just give myself a bit more room, shall we? Okay, and then we need to get this. So this is going to be your, I guess Z is going to be, you're going to break this down maybe and add torque in the Z direction only. Wheel acceleration and seat position separately. In a unicycle game, crikey, there was a great unicycle game on the SNES that I used to play when I was growing up. Which it didn't really have physics in it, but it was great. Uni-Rally, that's what it was called. On the SNES. Right. So we split this out. Oh, we're going to add torque into here. Instead, let's see if it moves even when we do this. Okay, but if we take off, oh, it's still. So yeah, I can't even move in the air now, but it could be down to the multiplier that we're using. Yes, I am going to do that as well, Poker Badly. The thing is, though, is if just 2 of your feet are touching the floor, the ship is moving. It's not just about looking. It's at the moment in my game, or in this controller, if your ship is on the floor and is not perfectly like the normal isn't directly up, it will slide in a direction. And that's what I'm trying to deal with at the moment, because you could land on a slightly uneven surface, etc. Integrate the Z, because right now this is based on world location. You're not correcting for look position. Hold on. There. Yeah, it was like a Sonic Racer, if you will, with little roundabouts as well. But yeah, Poker Badly, I am still going to do what you're saying as well. I'm just trying to understand more about how I can have the ship kind of care more about what's underneath it instead of just rotating, regardless of whether its feet are touching the floor and stuff. Let me read what you were just saying then to understand where you're going around. Make the number stupid high, that bit I can do. But you also need to take into account consideration the Z, because right now this is based on world location. You're not correcting for look position. I don't follow exactly what you're saying. As far as I'm seeing this at the moment is you're trying to add an amount of rotation to your current whichever way you're currently facing, right? So I didn't think that we needed to compare our current look, if you will. Yeah, I guess the issue is I don't know what that actually means then. It's funny, the little grounded check that I've got does actually stop you from. Hold on. The grounded check makes it slow to take off, which feels natural, but it's just because it's trying to correct your velocity to 0, even though you're adding velocity going up. Okay, so the axis value coming out of the lookup is always between 0 and 1, correct. Thank you. We're just trying to deal with a bunch of sliding around issues that we've got at the moment, sadly, Spacey. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, sorry, but I think part of it is me not properly understanding you talk. Here, Pixel. You'll be adding the talk as a full vector. Because at the moment I'm adding it as this, right? But I thought because we were adding, it was just going on to whatever it already was. I'm treating this at the moment like a rotation. Okay, so the amount of rotation, it's a world space sort of rotation, is it? Rather than a like move 5 degrees wherever you are. I need to have it relative to the way that I'm facing. Is that what you're saying? By what? Just get forward vector of my get active rotation. We get a forward vector like that. But then, so are we adding it onto that, I guess? So we want to do vector and float. You need to make sure you're adding to the object Z, not the world Z. Right, okay. I think I see where you're coming from. But then this needs to collapse then, doesn't it? Yeah, I worry this is going to add talk in all different directions if we just do it like that. No, I think I need to break this down still, don't I? Don't I need to break this and just use the Z out of this? And add those? Or do I need all of them still? I'm not sure. Could I do it like that instead? And that goes into there. Okay, it doesn't seem, you can see my lookup, so in the middle of the orange text, you can see a lookup. So I am going up and down there, but we're not getting any rotation at the moment, at least. Multiplier is like 500,000 at the moment. We can I can max it out just to double check. But I don't think, actually it's more than 500,000. Let's just add in 4 zeros for good luck, shall we? Yeah, it still doesn't, not hitting anything for me. No, I'm not sure of that. Yeah, this can actually override the velocity. Yeah, you got a point actually. Depends on the order that they're called. Okay, let me just unplug these for a sec. These were just a thing to say, like if you're... to be honest, I should have just unplugged the, the actual function. That would have been easier, but never mind. But no, that actually, those things only changed it. Oh, it does seem to be moving me though. Hang on, does it? If I go, like, I'm just going up at the moment, but if I hold forward, maybe I'm just going crazy. It feels like I'm going forward, but I might be wrong. Where is? I've lost my homeland. Holy cow, what is going on? All I tried to do, hang on. All I tried to do was... Okay, if I go like this, then I move forward. Okay, that's working. My back is working. My left is working. Okay, but somehow when I landed and I tried it... I guess it's trying to push me backwards. Guess that's probably what's going on here. And now I'm stuck on my back. But either way, it doesn't feel like the torque thing. Yeah, when I move back, it's trying to push me back this way, but the friction, I guess, from the feet, it takes a bit of pushing and then I topple over, right? Like that. Oh, crikey. Now I'm flying in the air. I don't know what's happening. Well, no, I do know what's happening. The flying, I can press back to fly. We're flying on an odd angle right now. Everything is fine. No. I think we got gimbal lock issues as well going on, which makes things even more confusing. But yeah, if I'm in the air and I use my up and down look, it's not doing anything. There might be something I need to research and have a look into because I feel a bit blind. No, the strength to roll me on the floor is not the same control. Sorry that I've confused you with that. So left stick is the like thruster forward and backwards. So I'm moving forward, and right now I'm moving backwards with it. So it's thruster, not roll. That was the thing that was making me roll on the floor. Was me thrusting forward or backwards. It was toppling me over, if you will. So now if I thruster forward, you can see it's like trying to move my ship forward. And then everything goes wrong there. Yeah, no. So it's not rolling at all at the moment. But okay, so we've tried it with the Z. We can try it doing it like the whole. Add torque, I guess. But then, hang on, if we're let's remember what we're doing here. The value coming in with our multiplier, then we're timesing that by delta seconds. Then we're adding that value to whatever our forward vector is. Oh wait, no, yeah, in order to provide a torque. What we're saying here is, yeah, I have no idea how I could add that value, and well, the other way I could do it is just obviously push these in as well, right? But I don't know if that's what we want from this either. It doesn't seem to do anything. Multiply the vector by the float. This, instead of adding it, is it? But that's going to multiply on all axes. No, I don't know. That doesn't feel... How does it know that we're dealing with the Z, if that makes sense? This is... Because if I just times these together, yeah, I feel that we're not really going to get... I don't know how it knows how to do it. It doesn't make sense to me doing it that way. Even though I don't understand this stuff. Hey, Jim Edmo, nice to see you again. How you doing? We've been trying to play around making like a little spaceship controller thing. And just learning some of the difficulties that come with that. But yeah, I'm not getting anything with this talk at the moment. We have toppled. I'm trying to understand what's going on. It's quite hard with the... Yeah, things have been good. I haven't streamed for a while, so I thought I'd just try and get on and play around a bit, which is what we've been doing today. I'm probably going to wrap up shortly, because we've been going for almost 4 hours actually, and this was just meant to be a bit of a casual play around. But I'd look to try and carry on with this and try and understand more about physics and moving things with physics, because it's something that is going to only be useful for me, I'm sure. Yeah, we had it so like we had it working. Like the in the air controls felt fine, and you could, well, the only thing it didn't have was the ability to kind of do a complete 360 turn in the air. But we've tried changing a couple of things now, which is causing a little bit of issue. I'm not gonna delete. I'm gonna just disconnect what we did here just for a little bit of, just to get the basic bit working again. Because I think all we did was... Oh, didn't we do add controller, roll input? Yeah. Pitch input instead, I think it was. We did that and pulled this value through up like that. And then change our ship to take this. So this is the old way that we had it, where you can look around as well. You can turn the ship in the air, and that you basically have gravity affecting you. So you're kind of using thrusters to stay up here. You can make yourself go down faster. But the main issue we have is this, is that like it slides around on the floor like it is now. It's only when all feet are even and you're facing up that it'll stop moving. You need to add to X, Y, and Z in order to change the Z for the ship. I think we're not seeing the same thing. It's because the confusion between world and local space. You need to add the X, Y, and Z in order to change the Z just for the ship. But would I be adding just the so in this bit that we were doing by here, getting the forward from it, would we be splitting it up like I did before though? So we'd be adding, so yeah, I'm not. Maybe I'll need to just read up a bit, because at the moment I feel like it's not the right way to do it. Where I'm just following instructions from you without properly understanding it. As much as I appreciate you helping in that, but at the moment I'm not. I don't understand enough about how this stuff is applied for me to reason about it. But it's all good. A bit of reading or something could be good. I can even do the reading on stream. Like, I don't mind. This is one of the features I'm hoping to do next year on Mondays, is just another mechanic Monday where we work on game mechanics that you've seen in other games and try and figure out how they did them, maybe, even if it's a bit of a primitive implementation, and just learn about the stuff that way. The visual code, with Unreal, it just speeds up things sometimes, I think, when you're experimenting like this. Ah, nice. What sort of stuff do you read, Poker Pedley? Yeah, I used to do game dev interviews on Mondays and feedback streams as well. The interviews I think have come towards an end. I think I've done out of the people I reached out to, they've come back to me, and I've done those interviews now. There's a few more I could push, but I don't want to stretch it thinner than it needs to be. And then the feedback streams, we don't have that many games left in the queue. I think I got 1 or 2 in the queue. I'd like to carry it on and do it like every week to try and build it up. But at the same time, I think me personally, I'm going to gain more from doing the Mechanic Monday. And it might be more interesting to some people as well. Nice. I don't do much reading at all, Poker Badly. I have been tempted to read The Witcher though, as of late. But mostly, if I've ever read in the past, it's kind of like learning books, on specific topics and all that jazz. Oh, okay, right. I think I'll call it. I'm yawning. And we're in a place where I'd need a little bit of thinking about it.